Most cursed artifacts are simple tools for a quick death, but this whistle functions as a beacon, summoning the exact terrifying form of your own future demise to hunt you down in the present. Historically, the Aztec Death Whistle was a real clay instrument from Mesoamerica, the region covering Mexico and Central America, meticulously carved by its creators to produce an ear-piercing sound that mimics human screams. Within the film's mythology, the artifact carries a highly specific translation error. The ancient markings carved into the clay do not actually instruct the user to summon the dead. They read, "Summon your death." In director Corin Hardy's 2026 film, Whistle, a group of high school students serving detention stumble upon one of these cursed objects hidden in a locker, blowing it without understanding the history behind the sound. By combining a genuine historical artifact with the everyday setting of a modern high school, the story uses ancient folklore to create an inescapable ticking clock scenario for a Gen Z audience. The primary mechanism of the curse is absolute. Anyone who hears the whistle scream is relentlessly pursued by a physical manifestation of the exact way they are destined to die. The teenagers eventually discover two rigid loopholes. The first is a forced exchange. A person can transfer the curse to an unwitting victim by physically marking them with the blood of someone who is already targeted. The second option involves a strict technicality. You can break the tracking of the curse if you voluntarily stop your own heart, briefly die, and have someone else successfully resuscitate you. This rigid fate mechanic mirrors the logic of early 2000s slasher films. However, where those stories often relied on an invisible design, this film grounds the abstract concept of destiny into a tangible, exchangeable clay object. The horror relies less on an external monster and more on the psychological weight of the characters being forced to confront the specific, personal details of their own mortality. To bring this concept to the screen, director Corin Hardy adapted an original short story written by author Owen Egerton. The production team filmed on location in Hamilton, Ontario, shooting through the winter months of late 2023 and early 2024 to capture the natural, bleak chill of the region. They cast Dafne Keen as Chrys, a goth transfer student who unwittingly inherits the cursed locker and serves as the anchor for the group. Sophie Nélisse plays Ellie. The tentative romance between Chrys and Ellie provides an emotional center to the plot, grounding the supernatural panic in a genuine human connection. The production also brought in Nick Frost as a teacher, one of the first victims to fall to the whistle's call early in the film. Grounding a high-concept supernatural curse in a gritty, authentic filming environment with strong character dynamics was a clear attempt to elevate the standard teen horror formula. The finished film debuted at Fantastic Fest in Austin, Texas, in September 2025, before moving to a wider theatrical release in February 2026. This chart shows the film's divided reception. It landed a 62% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes, while the audience score sat slightly lower at 55%. Reviewers driving the positive 62% rating praised the film's creative kills and the emotional weight of its protagonists, which they felt added gravity to the standard slasher beats. Conversely, the 55% audience score reflected a common disappointment. Many viewers felt the film relied too heavily on predictable 90s horror tropes instead of fully exploring its unique Aztec hook. Ultimately, Whistle sits in a complicated space. While the ancient Mesoamerican mythology provided a fresh aesthetic, it wasn't enough to distract many viewers from a plot that felt recycled from the horror films of the previous generation.